of sorcery and witchcraft. Elon Musk's Neuralink company, this is the same technology as what Apple is going to be doing at the end of 2025, has their brain chip, and they're calling it telepathy, which will enable telepathic communication. The chip is designed to intercept brain signals and retransmit them to other parts of the body or to devices like computers. So they're even saying that they're intercepting brain signals. What they're not telling you is that they could send signals to your brain. So Elon Musk filed the trademark for telepathy and telekinesis. Now, why is this important? Why is Apple doing this? Why are they talking about controlling your phone with your mind? Because as Elon Musk has said, as I've told people who follow my channel for years, the cell phone is going to be obsolete by 2030. Smartphones are going to be...
All right, Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rokakadash. The honest apostle and elders, great millstone. Salutation to all the brothers and the few sisters out there, unto the like foreigners. From the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Shalom in the Hebrew, which means peace. I just want to entitle it, We Have Arrived. We have arrived. All right? I think that's what I'm entitled it, but you know, that's why I interrupted what he was saying. So basically, one about Apple, the company Apple. I got the I did a show previously, and then I slipped with the tongue about the fruit. But Apple, the company that was started by Steve Jobs and was it Bill Gates and somebody else, are now publicly saying that they're gonna have their version of the MOTB for the Neuralink. All right, that's the closest that we could say. When you go into the word forehead in the Greek, it is metapon. Metapon, which is meta. That's what this guy, the owner of Facebook, had named it, because Facebook, when it was created, it was a tell-all. The tell-all is telling your location, telling what you like to eat, tell them everything about your personal business. So now, the tell-all, everybody got accustomed to it. That's why you have Instagram. That's why you have TikTok. And everybody's putting their business out there. Was training. It was all about training the people for this day. All right? You have an influx of films as, you know, I mean, I ain't gonna hold it. I love Marvel, you know, DC, because it shows spiritual power. But the greatest minds in those particular realms are those that can read other people's minds. So then you have TV shows, which he bought it out. I ain't gonna play all his stuff. He bought it out. Black Mirror and so forth, and they show you in that particular series, which is very good, how technology is going to be in the near future. So all this was called method of revelation, has been training the human mind, okay, to accept this thing, this way of life. They created a system that the system, you cannot live without the system. You cannot live, you can't go out there hunting yourself. You cannot go out there and build certain things yourself. You have to deal commerce on a personal level. No longer can you buy cash. Now everything that you do is being recorded. All right, your expenses are being recorded. The way, which is your favorite things, is being what's it called again? Like the ads. If you keep typing in on Google the same thing over and over again, you get certain ads as you go into other sites. So they have a pattern on people, how people think and so forth. So now ultimately, what was this all about? What is this all gradualism is about? It's all about the mark of the beast. That's all it's been about. It's always leading to the same thing. You go to the store now, you could barely pay anything with cash. Why? Because it's by design. Okay? Why there's so much sick people out there? Because the sickness, they're going to come with an ultimate cure. And that cure is going to come in the form of a RFID microchip. Okay? So now everybody's going to be in a hive mind. Let's get rid of racism. Let's get rid of our indifferences. This is why they have been allowing people to be so acceptable towards each other's differences. We got to come together. You know, fat, small, transformer, alphabet people, this, that, that. We all got to be as one. Why? Because they're bringing in their new world order. It's all gradualistic ways. So now we are entering the stage of no return. We have arrived. Okay? Now, let me get this real quick, get this out the way, because I spoke a lot. Isaiah 32:5. It says, the vile person shall no more be called liberal. So who is that vile person? A person that is vile. When you look up the word vile, is morally bad. I just did a show on it. Going to Job, the 30th chapter. Viler than earth. And he spoke about these Neanderthals, these cave dwellers. Catch a fire. The whole thing is about Neanderthals, and I believe it was lightning struck a wood, and they took that wood that burned, and they took it into their cave. They was excited. They built up more fires, and another clan or whatever came and took that, so they had to go find that fire again. Well, that fire represents the knowledge. All right. And that wood that got burnt, that's when it goes into the mythos of, was it Hermes passing down the fire to man? Which is what? Giving them the science, the knowledge. Okay. So they took the knowledge. They got their knowledge from the higher ups. The Most High. Everything came from the Most High. So the Lord gave, the scripture tells you in Daniel 4:17, that he set up the basis of men. So the basis of men, of all mankind, the Lord gave that fire, that knowledge to them. So they're going around acting like they're liberal, all right, of noble descent. That they come from kings and they come from kings and queens and great noble men and men of renown. Okay, but in reality, they're nothing but vile people. What's that word I always love to use? What's the word? The usurpers. That's what Esau is, a usurper. He said, no, the churl said to be bountiful. I always forget this word. Churl, scoundrel. So he's a scoundrel. Scoundrel. And you look up the word scoundrel right here, it tells you in a sense of holding niggardly. So this is why you have technology. They've been had technology for the flat screen. They've been had technology for certain things. But they being so greedy with their stuff, they want to give things in a gradual sense. So they can make money off of you. For the vile person will speak venally. So, and his heart will work iniquity. This is all part of their masterful works. Their working is to get everybody to accept their way of life. Is their way of life is the advancement of mankind according to their sayings. But look how scripture says, let me get this real quick. Daniel 12:4, I believe. Yep. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book. So there was a time and period that this word was sealed. All right. People did not know how to break the scriptures down. The scriptures is a puzzle. The Lord himself had to break this thing. Okay. Once he broke it, it was given to certain selected men on earth. You have, on the left hand, you have the elites that's given information from the left hand side of the Most High. Then you have the righteous, the elect, that's receiving, who knows the breakdowns of the Lord. So even to the time of the end, so we in the time of the end, many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. So knowledge is supposed to be increasing. So if knowledge is supposed to be increasing, that means man is supposed to be increasing. Man is supposed to be wiser, but they're not. Why? Because the rulers that are ruling are not allowing them to know. Isaiah 60, I start on 1. Arise, shine, for the light is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee. Which is talking to whom? Is talking to the elect. So we had two contrasts. The book was sealed, right? But I explained that the book was being sealed. It was broken. Revelations, I believe, is the 5th chapter. It tells you that the Lord broke the seal. So now the elect, the Lord has given the knowledge, the breakdowns. Okay, now we even have Chad, I don't know how you say it, Chad, whatever. And brothers asking the right questions and is breaking down the scriptures the way we break it down. This is AI, artificial intelligence, which is a spirit. So the truth is plain as day. But it says, for behold, darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. So how is it knowledge is increasing, but gross darkness is covering the earth? Gross darkness is covering the earth because the people that's in the position of power is not allowing the people to know. They're withholding information. They're not allowing people to advance. To do what they're doing, people have to be in a low estate. Matter of fact, a particular scripture came in my mind. Proverbs, see if I can get on top. Is it 21? Let's try 21 and 25. Nope. Ooh, that's a good one. Proverbs 21 and 26. He that coveteth greedily all day long, but the righteous giveth and spareth not. Ooh, that's a good one. Why? To covet something is to want what somebody else have. Right? And then they greedy. That's that nigga mindset. But the righteous giveth and spareth not. Because what? The knowledge that the righteous have is to uphold man. It's to advance mankind. Okay? It says, the sacrifice of the wicked is an abomination. How much more when he bringeth it with a wicked mind? A false witness shall perish, but the man that heareth speaketh constantly. A wicked man hardeneth his face, but as for the upright, he directeth his way. There is no wisdom, nor understanding, nor counsel against the Lord. So everything that they're doing is to their own demise. All right. Let me get this real quick. Proverbs 25. Okay. Proverbs 25 and 28. He that have no rule of his spirit is like a city that is broken down without walls. So all these people that are in gross darkness for a reason. They can't control themselves. Their natural impulse is what? Pleasure. Because this is all, once again, it's all by design. As Psalm 64, I always bring this out because it's true. 64:6. They search out iniquities, they accomplish a diligent search. What is iniquity? Sin multiplied. So they know how the human mind operate. So if this nation that we are in is a consuming nation. If you cannot consume, you feel you don't live. If you don't feel like you live, you're going to find a way. So they lead everything towards what? People wanting. All right? That's all it is. The system is designed for people to want. The thought of every one of them in their heart is deep. All right? I said want, right? They leave people to desire more when, like the scripture says, give us this day our daily bread. People don't seem like things is, they don't want to live a convenient life. It's like, yeah. They don't want to live a convenient life. They want to live a greedy life. They want to live a life of luxuriousness, of pleasure. All right? America's nothing but Disneyland on steroids. They took one area down in Florida, Orlando, Florida, that the CIA bought for Walt Disney, and gave him a platform and gave a grown man to teach, to indoctrinate generations of children to want. All right? To want. Job 2:4, it says, and Satan answers the Lord and said, skin for skin, yeah, all that a man have will he give for his life. So the life, the way it is designed for wanting. And this man is the agent to do that. He's just the bold man to do it. So the devout person will speak venomly, and his heart will work iniquity. So this is part of the design. To practice hypocrisy. Yeah, to say you free, but you're not. To say that to set that you're never satisfied. It says, and to utter error against the Lord. Yeah, law, statutes, commandments is not enough. You know, we have to have it all. I will always remember as a child, growing up in the 80s, living in poverty, then the ghetto, like everybody else in the hood. Channel 7, I believe it was Thursdays, had a show called The Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. On an era where majority of Jake was in drugs, selling drugs and so forth, there was avenues of Jake to see of a different life and what you have to do to get to that life. So they designed everything like you not have to work hard. You have to lie, cheat, steal, murder to get to the state. So all America does is heighten humans' temptation. That's all it does. And it invokes your greatest desire by design to make empty the soul of the hungry. So now, fast forward it, you have the majority of people, they're hungry. They're starving for human attention, for other people. You know, people become more in tune with computers and not really socializing, not really building a relationship towards one another, become more distant. This is all by design, and will cause the drink of the thirsty to fail. The instrument also of the true are evil. So the solution is evil. All right. The solution that they have is to chip everybody. You will never be alone. You will always have somebody in your head, so to speak. Because it's all designed. Revelation 16, I think it's 16:14 to the point. Yep. For they are spirits of devils working miracles. So the miracles are what? They healing. The miracles are what? Human companionship. Like he said, you get to, they'll tell you all the perks, the supposed perks, but they're not going to tell you the fine line. The fine line is you're going to be told certain things. You're going to be led to do certain things, not of your own will. There's a movie called Implant. It was like a low budget movie. It came out during the pandemic. It was perfect. I was through the spirit. Remember, it was a woman. She got an implant. I believe she was a test subject, and then the test subject, as a test subject, she got the implant because she had no money, and it was talking to her, and then once it talked to her, tell her all the things that she wanted to hear, and then just took over her mind. And when she tried to break free, it didn't work. This is all designed. This is all by design. This is the instrument of the churl. All right. The scoundrel. This is how they do things. He devises wicked devices, the planning. That's why this whole entire system is brought to the same thing. There's a web of lies, web is connection. All right. You can't live without one. To destroy the poor with flying words, even when the needy speaketh right. So this is designed to destroy the majority of the people of the world. Okay? But the liberal, however, who's the liberal? The true liberal are the prophets. Devise liberal things. And by liberal things shall they stand. What's that liberal thing? That the Lord is going to destroy this place. As Revelation 14:9. And the third angel followed him, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast. What is the beast? The beast is the Roman system that was implemented. All right, EU, NATO, and America. America is the woman that's on the beast. This is a revival of the Roman Empire and his image, which is what? The New World Order. And receive his mark in his right hand. His mark in his forehead. This is the Greek word metapon. So that mark is charagma, or in his hand. Okay? So the charagma is either going to be in your forehead or in your right hand. A device. The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of indignation. So this is the result of receiving that, because you're no longer going to be what will be considered a human being. You no longer be a child of God in that moment, because that's going to alter a person's DNA, alter the person's mindset. All right, you're giving permission to the spirit of Satan to enter in you. So when the time the Lord comes, he's going to see, like, you're not of his. He's going to destroy it. That's why the majority of people in America is going to be wiped out. Okay, 1 John 2 and 18, 19 tell you that there's many antichrists. All right. So the Lord is going to judge those that take this charagma, and shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment extended up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. So you will be utterly destroyed. And this is the game that this man is playing. All right? It's the game. The game is what? Since I'm in Revelations 3. And 10, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world, to try them, trial, tests that dwell upon the earth. This is part of the game. All right? They're making it interesting. This is the test. This is the ultimate test. The Lord is using this man to test man's integrity. And the majority of man on earth is going to fail. Straight up. Okay, this is the ultimate test here. This is why these major corporations are trying to be ahead of it. Because this America, Babylon the Great, is ground zero. It's going to be the leading force of the earth. That ultimate test. And the result is America being destroyed. So with that being said, shalom to the elect of the nations of shalom.